Alrighty, what's going on, guys? This is Brother Kane, and whether you guys are buckled up, ready to go, or not, let's get right onto the urban legend videos. Today we'll be talking about an abandoned and haunted place that is actually located here in Concord Charlotte, North Carolina, and that is the Stonewall Jackson Training School. It is less than an hour north of Charlotte and was a campus of nearly 60 buildings that housed unruly youth, now quietly decayed with time. Stonewall Jackson Training School was meant to set good intentions to these youthful kids, but it all took a huge turn of horrifying events in which terrible things went wrong. Now, this all goes back to the 1800s. If you were a misguided or boisterous kid, one bad move would land you in prison with the really hardened adult criminals. There would be times where kids in prison would be preyed upon as there was no separation based on age. James P. Cook, chairman and head of the Stonewall Jackson Training School, had witnessed a 13-year-old boy sentenced to 3.5 years of hard labor for petty theft. The boy was shackled to a chain of full-grown men and shuffled out of the courtroom to prison. Cook was so disgusted to witnessing this that he had set out to spend the next 17 years campaigning for the creation of a training school for boys. This would hopefully give these boys a second chance at life and hope it would turn them in the right direction, as well as learning some valuable skills along the way. This brilliant idea of Cook's caught the interest of a group called the King's Daughters, and they were able to convince their state legislators of this new form of re-education. It was time for a change. Therefore, Stonewall Jackson School first opened its doors in 1909 with state-of-the-art classrooms and learning materials. Not only were the boys getting a formal education, but they were also learning valuable trades such as shoe repair, textile work, farming, and metalworking. The training school even had a newspaper the boys printed called The Uplift, which was published every month. In the earlier days, serving time at Stonewall Jackson School was not at all easy, but was indeed fair. Just after the end of World War II, things were about to take a dark turn at the Stonewall Jackson School. After World War II, a certain number of states had tried to improve their population. However, in an effort to limit foolishness, North Carolina led the way in eugenics and sterilization. In 1948, Stonewall Jackson had 6 forced vasectomies, which was authorized by state's eugenics board. It became common practice during this time where mental hospitals and schools for troubled youth were at the very top of the list. Like many facilities at the time, Stonewall Jackson School suffered from overcrowding and prisoner violence. However, many parents at the school wanted to make their kids' lives miserable and ensured that their duty was fulfilled. One person who had experienced these horrors firsthand in Cottage 13 was Russell Dan Smith, who remembers some of the harsh treatment that the staff at the school had dished out to these boys. During the 1960s, this type of abuse seemed particularly uncontrolled. Abuse like this wasn't addressed at all, but rather ignored. In fact, this harsh treatment and abuse that these boys endured wasn't an isolated incident, nor was this only happening in Cottage 13. This was a streak of systematic abuse that impacted the lives of hundreds of kids. A favorite punishment of the cottage parents was called a hot foot, in which they would hold a child's foot up and hit their bare foot with a ruler or a strap until you could hardly stand it. One of the boys there was ran over by a dump truck and killed. The trucks came storming in and never slowed down for anyone, so if you happened to be in the way, you were more than likely going to get ran down. A place like this that has been centered by controlling young men has now been vandalized and overrun by them. But the decay is slow, and the well-built brick cottages still cast their shadows down on the town of Concord, as they have for over 100 years. This torn-down school is located right off Old Charlotte Road, southwest Concord, North Carolina. The grounds used to be open of people to take photos and possibly videos, but now they have the property surrounded with barbed wire to keep people from trespassing. The new Stonewall Jackson Youth Development Center is just southwest of the old property, and the cottages there are now being used for storages. However, entering these cottages may now be considered trespassing. I do want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to watch this video. There is going to be some pictures that I'm showing after this video to show you guys what this torn down school looked like. It has been vandalized for sure, and there are these kids that have been tortured, tormented, and beaten brutally. Their shadows still lurk amongst these walls, these bricks, and these cottages, as well as the full building itself. So, please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. Please make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. There is going to be a cosplay video next week that I'm going to try to work on and have it up by next Sunday. So you guys will have a Kane video to look forward to. So please make sure you guys subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment if you might have been in this situation before, if you've experienced these harsh treatments. I know it's been a long time since this had happened, but you know, voices are always meant to be heard. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.